Welcome to a Global Village show today. We have two great guests, Joseph from BCIS and Fleha Ahmed from BCIS. I believe she's the team leader. And thank you both of you to Global Village today, and great to be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Fleha, could you tell us something about yourself? A little bit about yourself.
So I was born and raised in Montreal. I moved to Brooks about 8 years ago, and I started working at Brooks and County Immigration Services 5 years ago. So this year will be our 5th anniversary. And I'm the team lead settlement counselor there, and I love my job.
Okay.
And I'm a mom of 4 beautiful children, and my husband's a foreign trained veterinarian who now practices here.
Good, good. So you must be then the first people who started the BCIS then.
I was among the first hired staff,
Okay.
and so I saw BCIS grow in the last 5 years, and I think it's doing a fabulous job.
Good, good. Yeah, Brian was, I think, a project person that time.
Yes, Brian was our first project manager, and then due to health reasons, he had to
Yeah.
give the position to Patricia Gallagher, who is an absolutely amazing person.
There you go.
Yes,
There you
she
go.
can charm anyone.
There you go. No,
She's
thank,
great.
Yeah, thank you very much. Joseph, you want to tell us something about the youth in general, and what is your role about engaging the youth in our area?
Yeah, first and foremost, like I said earlier on the previous show, I'm the youth coordinator, the youth worker at BCIS. And one of the things we do at BCIS as a youth worker is to engage the youth within the community, is to get into the hearts and minds of the youth within the community. Not only to learn about their stories and the problems they've been through within the community and in their past lives, but also to help them, nurse some of these pains. And by nursing some of these pains is by listening to their stories. And the more we listen to their stories, the further we try to acculturate them within the community to facilitate the settlement process within the community. Because if you come as an immigrant youth, you tend to have a different background than those whom you're going to meet within the community in which you intend to settle. So when you come here, as a youth worker, I engage you, listen to your stories, and by doing so, I identify your needs. And once I do identify your needs, I do what they call at BCIS needs assessment. And by assessing your needs, I would know what exactly you need, and I would work as hard as I can to make sure BCIS, or as a youth coordinator, those needs are met. And one of the needs of the immigrant, youths that actually come will be to get into school. And by getting into school, we're trying to evaluate their academic, ability to make sure exactly which class they fit in. And by doing so, we come up with a class where we can actually say, okay, this person would be, suitable for this class. So that person could go there. And when that person is there, we don't actually abandon the person there. We also work further with that youth within the school system and in the larger community by coming to the rescue of that person, in terms of academics, in terms of, social problems, social issues, and problems with the law. We educate them pretty much on all of these varieties of issues so that to facilitate their settlement problem or issues within the community. Because by, familiarizing the kids with the school system or the community in which they live and with the law and the police institution, they can actually become a responsible citizen within the community.
That's very nice of you, Joseph, because youth are the generation is for leaders for tomorrow. So we need to engage them and let them be a good citizen of the community.
Yeah.
Flea, could you tell us the programs that you offer BCIS, for example?
Yes, so BCIS started as a project of CCIS, and it's basically a non-profit organization which provides services to immigrants, refugees, temporary foreign workers, and even citizens if required. And we have a very devoted and hardworking staff of 11 people, which include 3 settlement counselors, an employment counselor, a youth counselor, Joseph, our temporary foreign worker counselor, a receptionist, and then of course our manager, Mohammed. Together, BCIS not only believes team building within the agency, but we collaborated with agencies all around Brooks and Medicine Hat. So our priority is to best assist the client. So basically, walking through our office, most of the needs will be assessed and met. But if there are any gaps which we cannot provide complete service to, we would always refer. And that's where good collaboration comes in from. Because I find it's important to do a team player within the community, not only within the office. And that's the strategy we go by.
So is it still project of CCCI, or is it independent now?
No, it's still a
Still
project
project.
of CCIS, and we're just the branch, one of the branches in BCIS.
They call satellite, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, that they do have. I met with the executive director
Yes.
there, so they call satellite. So they have several ones, I think, in Okoto, High River, something like that.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
one of the
Of those
large
satellites.
agencies in southern Alberta, CCIS,
Yeah.
and then it's spread from there.
Yeah, they have satellite offices. Yeah, that's what he mentioned. The and you do help a lot of people in our community, and you do a very good job. But apart from that, what do you see about empowering then the community? Because you still have newcomers coming to our community that are daily coming and they leave. Most of them don't stay because of some of them make a choice to go maybe large city like Edmonton, Calgary, and that's a personal choice. But what do you think in your experience with the newcomers or immigrants? How best you think you can help, for example, people to stay?
When we deal with our clients, BCIS also has a lot of community events that we participate in and that we organize.
Good.
And one of the reasons for that is community connection. So that's that, and I find that's very good here because it's a very diverse community, a lot of people from different cultures, and that gives them an opportunity to interact with one another and also gives them an opportunity to accept other cultures. So that's, I think, a very good thing. Now, how do you keep them here? I think the primary base of why people come here is JBS. They find it's a sort of like a guaranteed job opportunity. Sometimes if that doesn't go through for one reason or another, I see then their next priority is to check into other cities or other provinces for job. And the second thing is, I think if the kids or the wife or someone has family somewhere else, then they choose to live close to there. But otherwise, I've seen clients who walk into BCIS and then several years, 5-10 years later, they're still in Brooks.
That's very good, and I think
If I could buttress what Flea just said, one of the strategies we've been able to actually apply, and which has been working, in my opinion, to keeping people within the Brooks area. And whenever they walk through the doors of BCIS, what we do is, we do an assessment. We assess their needs, and once we do that, most of the clients actually that I deal with as a youth counselor come for jobs. So we do ask them, you need a job in order to stay in Brooks. So one of the first steps I take, or we take at BCI, is to help them do the resume if they don't have a resume. But if they do have a resume, we ask them, can you update your resume? Because most employers will like a recent resume, not the ones that have been, made a couple of months ago or years ago. So it's better to update your resume. Once you do that, employers will have a better chance at looking at your resume. And by having to build these resumes, we not only stop there, we'll also try to look for jobs for them within the community. So they rely on us, we also rely on them to be part of the community. And at the end of the day, most of them actually end up getting jobs, and that's been very successful.
oh, that is good. When it comes to woman participation,
Yeah.
that also, especially immigrant woman participation. There are a lot of places that they don't participate enough, whether it's a religion issue or cultural issue or maybe personal reasons. How best you think as a community, as a somebody that's been BCIS long time, how as a community, how you think community can help, for example, for people to participate in terms of involvement in the community? Because healthy person is the one who always involve the community. It's not only good for someone to be isolated in their own house. It creates a lot of health issues when you are at home 24/7. So how best you think we can help those people to not to leave their culture or religion beliefs, but at the same time be involved?
I think what I see is that when someone doesn't see an importance in an act, they won't follow through with it. So in particular, if I focus on women in general, there's one part of women who will just stay home moms, and their focus is the home and the children.
Yeah.
And then there's the second part who work. And then for them, it's even more challenging because they will have work plus home plus children. So for them to make knowledge and education and upgrade themselves into the current society, it's just a secondary factor. So what we try to do with our clients is bring out that secondary factor in their mind to primary. Because not only will it help them, if you're participating and learning and acknowledging yourself, you bring that education back into your house. And that will make a better atmosphere for your entire family. Because I personally find that it's the mom's grooming that grooms the house.
Yeah.
So for us, we really encourage the ladies to come out and volunteer, participate in our activities. We have workshops. We have, even for those people due to religious gatherings, we have only women sessions. Like, we really try our best to accommodate each person to their comfort. And I find that once they start building that comfort and that trust, there is a big difference. Like, I see people, they actually are willing to come out and volunteer or attend our events, because our events, they see that it's very family friendly. There's nothing wrong with it, because sometimes they have these concepts that would it be appropriate for us or our children and husband and families, right? And when they see that it is, they start enjoying it. So we really try to focus on that, and I think we are still doing it and still have a lot to do.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great,
Yeah.
Flea. Joseph, how best you think as a immigrant person, as a black man or African Canadian, there are a lot of people that I personally met that said most of the newcomers from African Canadians don't participate as such as they should have within the community, in reference of events or other volunteering. That's the way I was told, and it's good for every immigrant or non-immigrant. Everybody's immigrant in Canada, so unless you are First Nation, as far as I'm concerned, people came a little bit ahead of other person. But it's a nation of immigrants, same as the U.S. But let's refer to as a newcomer. How best you think we can encourage newcomers to participate in terms not only events but also volunteering, put something back to the community? I was very impressive that I received email from the president of the food bank, Cindy, of which I invited her here some time back. And she said, there was a African guy, she said he came to the food bank and gave them $100 on his own. And she was surprised. She thought the guy was coming some sort of asking food. And he says, no, I'm not coming to get food. I'm coming to give you $100 from my pocket.
Yeah.
And she could not wait. The moment the guy left, she phoned me, and she was so excited that a newcomer comes and pays $100 on his own
Yeah.
to them. And that's what that's what we need to encourage people.
That's right.
That's giving something back. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, is an important step that I personally just mentioned. I believe he took the right step. So one of the things we do is to encourage public awareness, public gathering, and public speaking. For instance, the department which I work with at BCIS, which has been doing a great job, when I go to school, I sometimes sit down with a youth and we talk about some of this awareness within the community. Because if you want to be a responsible citizen within the community, you have to be aware so that you will know how to live between or go along with these various agencies and institutions that live within the community in which you are. So we try to teach the youth about the importance of each of the institutions within the community and their roles within the community and services they deliver to the public within the community. So we tell them this is what happens, and this is what, like you mentioned, the food bank. We tell them the food bank is there to actually serve the people approached. But however, if you have a donation, you can also take it to the food bank. And if you also run out of food or nutrition, food bank is one of the places that you can also go to ask for food. And that's what that community agency is there for, to be able to feed the community, the community's poorest within the community. So we talk to the youth about volunteering. So we tell them volunteering is very important because not that you only help other people, but you also get help within the process. Because the more you volunteer, where you're going to be volunteering, people whom you're going to be helping within the process, you also tend to learn about their own stories because they tend to tell you things you've never heard before, things you might have never come across if you did not volunteer, that day. Because you guys would exchange stories. It's a kind of reciprocal gain.
Yeah.
You gain from them, they gain from you.
Yeah.
And the more awareness we make within the community, especially within the youth, because the youth are the future leaders of the community.
Yeah.
So as far as the youth get educated along the process, they tend to engage in the more volunteering work because volunteering is very much important. I talk to the youth about the importance of volunteering because in school, they need some credits for volunteering activities.
Yeah.
Because once you get those volunteering, the credits for volunteering a few times, you can actually skip some courses within the school. Mm-hmm. And it's very good because it's going to help the process to get into colleges or university out there when you graduate from high school. So a lot of kids have expressed interest in volunteering because it's very helpful. Not that they want to help people, they also want to get some benefit at the end of the day. So in that process, people actually get aware how to volunteer and how to help the community and become a very responsible citizen.
Thank you very much, and I think you're doing a great job for that. That is why we're thinking of doing article sometime this month coming about that gentleman and calling that the spirit of giving.
Yeah.
For him to give $100 from his pocket was something that was very impressive, and was when she told me the name, I tracked him down, and I found him, and I spoke to him, and asked him why he made that decision, and he said because they help people. I said, did you ever get anything from the food bank? He said no. See, so that is the spirit that you need to promote for people to engage, and volunteering is one of the things, and I think BCIS as an organization are doing a great job in that capacity, whether it's the youth or the woman or etc.
And this is something when we tell the youth at school, they take the message to their parents, so their parents can also go and do what exactly they can do with a message. Probably the gentleman you just mentioned must have come from one of the youth within the community that has been taught about the importance of volunteering and the spirit of giving.
Yeah, I think he's a very gentleman that from African heritage, but that's what we need also to promote other immigrants or newcomers in that sense.
And I'd just like to add to that I think that's a big part of integration, which we promote, because we try to reinforce that in BCIS, that when you're coming to Canada, then it's part of life to integrate into the culture and society here. And also, it's not a threat that you're leaving behind your culture and your traditions and beliefs. So just like it is alien to see someone from another country do something like that, a lot of things are alien to them too, to see the so-called white person, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important that we learn that basically we're all the same.
Yeah.
It's just, it takes place, and that's where integration takes place, when you build acceptance from one another.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very good point. I think, and I think as just to follow up what Joseph said, I think that that gentleman might be also one of your clients. I have no idea.
Yeah.
He's been here since 2014 himself.
Okay.
I believe January 27 of 2014 started at JPS, and he's still with JPS. Playing as a woman, and I think what do you think promoting and perspective of education of women? Because as you know that as a Muslim lady, which I'm sure you are very proud to be a Canadian and from Muslim heritage, how you think we should be able to promote either through BCIS or through yourself to those girls within the Islamic community who like to proceed in education?
I really believe that education and knowledge is a weapon, and it could be used anywhere. So weapon meaning in a good way,
Yeah.
because it's something that nobody can ever take from you.
Yeah.
And I find the more you have, the less it is. And for women to educate themselves, I find it's very important, because not only does their education groom them, but it grooms their house, it grooms their children, it grooms their grandchildren, and it just goes on forever. And I really appreciate the fact that there's a lot of women taking the ESL classes.
Good.
So that's one step, because you have to learn the language.
Yeah.
Then I see even more progress, that there's some women who came from other countries not long ago, but now they're taking courses in the Brooks campus.
Good.
So that for me is another step forward. And I think just as counselors, we always promote education. Learn the language first. And that is most crucial, because you have to learn the language no matter what, in which country you are.
Yeah.
If you don't speak the language, you can't move forward.
Yeah.
And following with that, if you have any educational background or any interest, I have a client, she came from China. She didn't know the language, she had no education in that field. She came, she learned the language, and she did her nursing degree, and now she's working.
That's very
So
good. That's a
yeah,
good story.
and I was like so proud of her. I was like, good for you. So I think we need motivation like that, that it's not impossible. And you're in a country like Canada where opportunity is always there and time is never a factor. So it's not if you've reached this age, you can't do anything further. So I just promote that.
So you can reach your dream in Canada. If you have a dream, set a goal and be active, and then be honest and hard work and dedicate, and you will
Yeah.
achieve your dream.
You have to be hardworking and persistent.
There you go.
Because if you don't have either, then it's hard, because nothing is easy. So if you want to achieve your goal, you have to be persistent and you have to work hard.
I could not agree more. I think that's a very good point, Fleha, I think, and that have shown education is very important for human race.
Yes.
It's a life learning process. So we always learn a new thing.
Yeah.
We learn from a white guy, from black guy, or Asian or yellow guy. It's a learning process from all different races, and I think from all different religion. And it's very important for people to keep their religion and their culture, but at least interact with others,
Yeah.
as Councillor Mr. Joseph mentioned. I think we need to promote the idea of people getting involved as interaction and diversity.
Yeah.
So what's your last thought for the message of the youth?
What I always tell the youth is always, be strong and try to set a goal. Because without a goal, you might not be able to function as a normal human being, especially if you are in school. You might just be in school and then learn, but what are your goals? Because if you set a goal, it's like a target, and you're going to work towards achieving that goal. I tell the youth all the time, I did it, and that's the reason why I went to university and graduated, because I had a goal from the beginning. And I want you guys to set similar goals. If you want to be educated, you want to get a degree, set a goal and work towards it very hard. And by doing so, you have to be very, very in the conscious of people that you run into. It's not everybody that you're going to run into on campus that is going to be of a good character. You got to be selective how to pick your friends. By doing so, it eases the process of earning a degree within the school environment in which you are. Because some friends, if you didn't choose them well, they could actually affect the process. And some friends, if you choose them very well, that are very studious and hardworking, could actually ease the process towards achieving a degree at the end of the day. Because it's all about being smart about the goals that you set and hard work. How strong you want to be about achieving those goals.
That is a very good point. And
Yeah.
Flair, as a team leader, what's your thought of the final thought?
I just, since we help integrate newcomers, I just say you're welcome to Brooks and County Immigration, and we will always do our best. We have a devoted team to help you guys settle and integrate in this beautiful country. I feel that a lot of people come from harsh circumstances like war-torn countries and have a lot of trauma. Refugee camps, they carry a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, which can't go away within days. It takes years, it takes several years. But I find that once you're in this beautiful country, use it as an opportunity for a better life.
That was a good, you said enough. I think Rome was not built in one day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
That's right.
Mr. Joseph. It was a pleasure you to come.
Thank you very much.
And we hope to have you
Thank you,
next
sir.
time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Flair, thank you very much. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have you
Thank
very
you.
well. And I think everybody knows BCIS, and I think you guys do a very good job in the community. And we hope you success in many years to come,
Yes,
both your personal and with organization as well.
thank you.
This is the end of the program Global Village for today. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Brooks, City of Brooks, County of Newell, and Medicine College for their continuous support of the show. And we hope we hope you will join us next time to the same program, same time. This is where the East meets the West. Until then, have a great day. God bless all. This is Ahmed Kasim, your host of the program. Bye for now.